Hello, everyone. I'm Nick Thacker. I hope everyone's doing good today. I've had the fun pleasure over the last 2 decades to listen to financial advisors and all of their problems. It doesn't matter if they're a bank, a broker-dealer, an RIA, and you think about all the different advisor, wealth tech maps that you've seen. This is what it looked like before. This is what it looks like now. With the overwhelming marketplace and all the different tools that you can use, how this is all plugged in, you don't even want to know. And hopefully I can give you guys a few different ideas on, roughly between, they say around 72 to 84 trillion in assets, how that's going to be transferring to the next wealth generation. There's a few different things that come up. I have the conversation about digital transformation pretty much daily. And the 3 points that typically come up are how do you scale that with repeatable processes? So typically, they talk about workflows, they talk about steps, you talk about how can you make your firm bigger by doing less. Second is data. We talk about data all the time. It's not about the data, it's actually what you do with the data that makes sense. So next best action, that comes up quite a bit. And lastly, being able to leverage your current technology stack. What do you do with the tools that you have with your clearing platform, your all-in-one platform, and others? So if you take a step back and you think about your wealth tech platform, I think another way that people think about it is persona-based. You have your advisors, you have the team that supports you, you have your compliance officers. There's things that you're doing and how you're touching those systems differently. So if you think about the investment life cycle and how you're actually leveraging the data, I'm going to take you through a few ideas. Maybe this is going to help your firm. So first and foremost, every digital transformation typically starts with 3 things. First, it's your data. Second is how you get the data into a system, for example, a CRM tool. How are you leveraging that to create that next best action? And the last part is how you actually are having your clients touch the data, whether it's an investor portal, how do they like to be communicated with. So that's kind of piece 1. Piece 2 that comes along very often is how you get bigger. Typically, it's recruiting. It's also about advisor recruiting and bringing that book of business on. Can you do that in an easy way? So being able to move a book of business, being able to put the appropriate bundles together and actually move the book of business to the clearing firm and the custodian. The third thing that typically comes up is that client onboarding. This is the moment when the client is actually working with your firm for the first time. What does that feel like? How is everything integrated with your clearing firm and all your other technology tools? Now that your clients are on board, this is where you're working with adding new accounts. And this is where you're working in document management. So how easy is it to do that? Is it customizable? Do the right people have access to the data? And then lastly, you think about how you're actually working with that with the compliance group. Keeping yourself out of trouble with the FINRA and SEC. How are you doing trade surveillance? How are you running your OFAC checks and other things like that? These are typically the things that come up when firms are thinking about digital transformation. Don't overcomplicate it. Lastly, you think about the different things that you can actually measure on how you can measure a digital outcome. And I think if you think about how long it takes you to open an account, the boost in efficiency that you have when you're opening up more accounts, you can track those things, what you can do with your team members if they're actually working on something different than versus spreadsheet chaos or working on other pieces. These are the ways that people are actually judging their firm and how they're actually getting bigger. So when you think about all the different ways that you can actually make your wealth management firm better, don't overcomplicate it. Try and figure out the ways that can differentiate yourself because it's all about the service. It's all about what clients are actually leveraging today in their experiences. Outside of that, if you can think of anything else and how you do digital transformation, Skience is here and we can help you out.